I just loved it. I always felt a bit of a connection with the water. I spent every waking second of it getting there and putting an effort in, getting out on the ocean and, whether it be spearfishing or fishing or boating. And then the adventure side of things took over. And then I was stuck. Then that's all I thought about, instead of hanging out and getting into trouble as a young kid. I was just frothing to go fishing with my dad and, with all the older sort of crew, and learn a lot of early lessons in life by doing that as a young little junior angler, fishing in the club scene. Started off catching skipjacks and, and then work your way up finally to catching my first Marlin. And then after that, and then when I first went to Cairns, then that was it. I was done. That's all I wanted to do, and that's all I could think about.
You're listening to the Rising Tidecast, podcast for sharing the stories, the lessons, and all the good stuff from legends in the marine industry. Welcome to the next episode of the Rising Tidecast. I'm super stoked to have a very awesome guest today, Captain Daniel Klein of Pursuit of Giants Game Fishing, also known as Kleiny. I'm not pumping his tires up, but definitely one of the best game fishing captains in Australia. I've been out with him on a few great trips on the water and a few off the water too. Lots of memories, thanks to Ryan Short. So welcome, Kleiny. Stoked to have you on.
Steve, mate. Yeah, pleasure to be here. Thank you for having me.
The first thing that I love to think about when I'm talking about you is that first trip that we had to the reef. We got a grander, first fish, a 700-pounder, a 500-pounder, and then a bunch of smaller ones too. That first day was just nuts.
It was, yeah. That's what the Great Barrier Reef is all about, really. You don't get days like that every day, and if you work hard and if you're in the right place at the right time, then things like that happen. It was great to share it with, some of my closest mates, and having all you boys on board and having the Spielberg on board was even better. We got to document it, and now we've got those memories forever. It's good.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that was some nice big fish. It was awesome.
And a good crew that really makes it, I think. You've had quite a few people on your boat, and besides getting some amazing catches, just the time spent out there with the people that you're with makes it all worthwhile. Very true.
I'm lucky enough. I've met some awesome people from different walks of life, and and they became lifelong friends, really. You spend 5 to 7, 10, 30 days in close quarters with someone on a boat, and you build relationships, and everyone's from a different walk of life, and they're all there for the same reason, just to hopefully have a good time and catch a fish of a lifetime. So that's part of the thing that I love about this job, is not only the fishing, but meeting all the new people and new experiences, and you learn a lot from them. And and sometimes I had the best trips ever, like you did on your first trip, which is good.
I'm curious, fishing's been a big part of your life for a long time. What's the earliest memory you have of, going out fishing and being on the water?
Yeah, I think I've got a lot of fishermen that I know, people that are doing it for a career or people that are addicted to it like myself. Those core memories of fishing with me, it was my grandfather, and then it sort of evolved into fishing with my dad and my uncle, and then I sort of made friends through that, and and grew up fishing for bream and flathead when I was a young kid, and I suppose that's how I got the passion for it. I met some really good sort of people through the Sydney Game Fishing Club, and some of my best friends still today. Yeah, it was sort of that transition into being a passion into then turning it into my career, which has been pretty cool.
We all spend that time, I think, doing something that we love and we can connect with the people in our life, and fishing being one of those things is I think a really cool way to connect. What was it about that time that, thinking back, is special to you now?
I just loved it. I always felt a bit of a connection with the water, even though I didn't really grow up around the water, but I spent every waking second of it, getting there and putting an effort in, getting out on the ocean, and, whether it be spearfishing or fishing or boating. It always drew me towards the ocean, and then the adventure side of things took over. And then I was stuck. Then that's all I thought about, instead of hanging out and getting into trouble as a young kid. I was just frothing to go fishing with my dad and, with all the older sort of crew, and learn a lot of early lessons in life by doing that as a young little junior angler, fishing in the club scene, started off catching skipjacks and, and then work your way up finally to catching my first marlin, and then after that, and then when I first went to Cairns, then that was it. I was done. That's all I wanted to do, and that's all I could think about. And,
What is it about marlin? I feel like it hooks you more than any other fish.
yeah, they're the ultimate fish really to catch for a game fisherman. Yeah, their fighting abilities, like usually where you catch them is pretty cool, and just spending the time on the water targeting them, and they're not easy to catch, like especially the big ones. And yeah, it's just a great challenge. Boating in general, in my opinion, is an awesome activity. You're out in the fresh air. You can look forward to it all week long, and it takes you to some pretty cool places. It can take you all over the world. And that's what I like about it.
Thinking about how long you've been in and your journey and what I know about you. You've crewed on some of Australia's finest game fishing boats, especially up on the reef too. You would have definitely learned, I think, and had some great experiences along the way too. But now that you've built Deploy, which is, your custom built Assegai, the 58-foot, it's such an amazing boat to be on, like perfect mix of, luxury and performance, I think, and perfect for liverboards on the reef. I think my favorite feature of your boat is that, one of the favorites is that drop down back window. Oh man, sitting in the saloon and when the fish is on, we get the window up and you hear line peeling back and your cats are going crazy as you're backing down. And that's the stuff that gets you super excited. What was it like for you to be able to build Deploy, from that whole process of speccing it out and being part of the build? What was that like for you as a game fisherman that's been in it for a long time?
It was an incredible experience, and I was lucky enough to, have an owner that had complete trust in me, and with his input and mine, and the boat builders, Barry, he's a master craftsman. There's not many people like him in Australia who can build a boat like he does, and he does such an awesome job. Yeah, I spent many, many years sitting on the covering board just dreaming if I was lucky enough to get a chance to build one of these boats. I'd, all the things I'd do and change and, just to make it what I think would be the perfect boat. And one day it became a reality, and, I'm lucky enough. This is coming up on 4 years now that I've been running the boat. We've done nearly 4,000 hours, so 1,000 hours a year, so we use it quite heavily. It's been a great, great machine, and everyone who comes on board loves it. And yeah, it's a credit to the Assegai guys. They build an epic boat. There's no doubt about it.
What's some of your, I guess, favorite parts of that whole build process, from dreaming about it and then finally becoming a reality?
Getting the boat, driving it for the first time. I don't really get nervous very often, but the nerves kicked in. It was such, it's a long process building a custom boat. It's not as simple as some people think, and there's delays and there's all that stuff. But yeah, the final product's worth every second. Especially in our first trip, we missed the heavy tackle season, but the owner jumped on board and we went straight to Fraser Island, and catching those first couple of blue marlin out of it was pretty cool. And just seeing the owner, and there was Togan was happening through all that too, so he hadn't actually seen the boat in nearly 2 years or any process, and I had to do that silly hotel quarantine to get over the border, and I was stuck up there for 6 months. Couldn't get back down to New South Wales where I was living at the time, and there was a lot of efforts and a lot of behind the scenes stuff that goes into getting a boat like this built, and it was all very cool.
I mean, what people dream about, right? Yourself included, and then finally coming a reality is awesome.
Yeah,
you've had definitely a few amazing moments on that boat since you've had it the past 4 years. What's the fish story that stands out to you being on Deploy?
Yeah, there's so many. Whether it be, we just recently got back from an offshore tuna trip only 2 days ago, and we caught a 75 kilo fish and a bunch of, 40, 50 kilo fish and a marlin, just doing cool stuff like that. The heavy tackle stuff I love, and that's what the boat's built for. And we've caught some epic fish on this thing, big girls. We haven't weighed a grander on it yet, but fingers crossed that's happening this year. Yeah, there's so many, and even sometimes not even the fishing side of things, just the cruising. And I've seen so many different people from different walks of life just have such amazing trips on this boat, and that's what's important to me. I just like the whole experience. I'm lucky that I've only really got good clientele. I haven't really had any bad ones on this boat, so it's been good.
And you have a lot of people that just come back, right? Year after year. They love the experience.
Yeah, majority of my clientele, they're all return clients that, this is their annual trip, and whether they're fishermen in the off season or not, some aren't. Some just go fishing for the 5 days, and, they want to go in like a target-rich environment like the Great Barrier Reef where they know they're going to catch something and not, troll around. And, which is quite common. Sometimes off Sydney and Port Stephens, you get plenty of days you don't, you're not catching marlin if you're purely targeting billfish. But, up on the reef, you're catching Spaniards and GTs and the list goes on in the mornings before you even put the marlin gear out. So people love that sort of action pack, plus the snorkeling and the spearing and the nice food. And so that's what draws people to the sort of liverboard experience. Yeah, you're definitely going to catch something. That's for sure. There's certainly days you don't catch marlin, but you're going to be catching fish and, and eating awesome quality food. And that's what people enjoy, the whole reef experience. To me, that's important.
It's such a special experience. Like, yeah, from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, everything about it is just like what you dream of, 100%,
right? That's it. It's the mecca. And, there's a few places like that overseas that that are on my bucket list of places to visit. But, having it on our doorstep, it's so easy. It's right there. It's only a little 3-hour flight from Sydney to get up there and jump on the boat. And it's like you're in another world. Like when I was driving the Cookie, there was instances that the owner would finish work and, he'd be on the next plane first thing in the morning, 6 a.m. By 1 o'clock, we're tight to an 800-pound black marlin. That's pretty cool.
That's wild.
Yeah.
You've had a long journey in your career to get to kind of like this pinnacle spot. Is there any like key moments that come to mind that got you here? Like you have to love what you do. You have to be passionate about what you're doing. And outside of that, like fishing passion, what is it that you think is unique or was a moment or a quality that got you to where you are today and loving what you do?
Yeah, there's a few. So one in particular was getting my trade. So when I left school, I knew I wanted to become a captain. That's what I wanted to do. So I became a marine mechanic and did my marine mechanic apprenticeship. And during that 4-year trade, we could have I think it was 3 weeks or 4 weeks off a year as part of your holiday package. And so I would go up to the reef and sort of work for free on Little Audrey and my dad had become really good friends with the owner and their family, and I became good friends with them. And so I'd fish up there for, get some experience. And, having that trade behind me really helped me further my career. And, and there's no such thing as fast tracking the whole program. And then once I had my trade, went straight, I think I went to Weipa and started guiding up there with Kim Anderson, and then continued on to do the heavy tackle season with him that year. But there's no fast tracking. So I ended up doing 10 seasons as a crew, and that was so vital to, learning not just only the reef and learning about fishing, but just, learning how to look after the boat. It's not all glitz and glamour. Like, for instance, my morning so far, I got down here this morning. We fished Thursday, Friday. I picked up the laundromat, made the beds, went down to the pump room, changed out a pump in there, bleached out the toilets. It's not, there's a lot to it in the background. And the things that were valuable for me was just, doing your time on the deck. That was super important. And a lot of the good captains, well, all the great captains have all done, some time on the deck, whether it be, and in as many places as you can. Like, I was lucky that, I fished all over the joint. And just that time, doing your apprenticeship on the deck that's the most important thing to me. I think that's where you get all your knowledge.
Probably part of the beauty is now that you are not on the deck all the time or most of the time, then you can help the guys that are. Do you enjoy teaching the little tips and tricks to your crew throughout the season?
Yeah, I love it. And I want them to get the full experience. I want to show them how to do the oil changes, and I want to show them. And that's the beauty about doing the sign. They know that I'm not asking them to do anything that I haven't done before. That's the beauty. That's how you get the respect, because I've done all that. I've cleaned the toilets. I've done all, the shitty jobs. But then you get the good stuff as well. Like, and that's, there's such a good career to have, as a traveling captain. And the other thing was that I had to, I traveled. I never said no, as in those 10 years. Like, I was lucky I didn't have a young family or anything like that. So I was like, when I was, you're able to travel, just go at the whim of a hat, because a lot of these opportunities just come up last minute. And if you can say yes, yeah, it can really open some doors. It's good. That's one bit of advice is if you can say yes, just do it. Just go. Don't even, just do.
Like so many opportunities, they
Yeah.
don't stick around for long,
No,
right?
they don't. The next guy will grab it, and and then that door can open and just open. So it's one of those things that these sort of gigs don't come up on, I don't know, or the job seeker sites or websites or anything. Everything's word of mouth, and it's all right place, right time. And then once your foot's in the door, then you work hard, and if you do love it, you'll just make it happen, and then you can do it for your job.
What's one of your favorite things, or the first one that comes to mind that you said yes to?
I went down to Bermuda and worked down there. I was it was after my first season working with Kim and Steve Tedesco was his name. He was a real gun captain down there, and he called me and he just said, "Dan, do you want to come down and do the Bermuda striped Marlin season?" And I was like, "Yeah, why not?" Like, yeah, that's it. And then he goes, "When do you need me down here?" He said, "Oh no." And end of the week, and I was like, okay. So yeah, went down, didn't bring any warm clothes, like I was living in a caravan, but we caught the heck out of him, and that opened up doors. Then next year I went to New Zealand with him, went over there for 3 months and fly fished over there, and met guys like Dean Butler and Bigsy, and just things like that. And then that was a pretty cool experience just from saying yes. Next minute I'm down in Birmingham, just catching the hell out of the striped marlin. It was good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And they just compound on each other too. Like once you get that, like it just rolls down, and it's awesome to think back about those moments. I think sometimes in our career, like, what if I didn't say yes there? Then like where would I be now? And I think that's something really special, because a lot of the experiences that we do get offered, they might not seem like you can do them at the time, or they might seem like way out of reach, like, oh no. But then I've always found that like saying yes, you never really regret it.
No, you don't. You just got to make it work. Sometimes you got to shuffle a few things around and do a bit of begging and get some brownie points up. But you need to say yes because, as the boys say, life's short and you'll regret not saying yes. You'll never regret saying yes unless, if you do regret it, you just go home. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm still working on the brownie points thing, but
later in life, it's a bit harder to say yes all the time, but certainly when you're younger and you learn so much. I learned so much from different captains and working for them, and and that's how you learn. And you learn then when you do it by yourself, you put your own twist on it, and that's how you become good at what you do.
When you went to get your trade as a marine mechanic, is that something that is unique amongst like the captains that like, do a lot of people have the same certificates that you do? And if they don't, like, how much of an advantage do you think that is? Because from an outside perspective, that sounds like almost a necessary thing, right? To actually know your boat that well and how to fix it, like the mechanics of it, especially when you're on a liveaboard charter and stuff.
Yeah, it was good getting the actual trade. That really helped me, get the job, and it helped me get my MED1 certificate straight away. I didn't have to go MED3, 2, 1. But a lot of the time, you learn. Like, I've learned more than I did in my apprenticeship by working on the boat and fixing it, trying to fix it yourself, real world situations, because, there's a lot of the time you do have to fix it by yourself, and having support by the guys on shore, and they talk you through it, like, the onboard engineering, they've got me out of a lot of pickles over the years by just, calling on the sat phone or having a chat with them, and they can, with what you can see and do, and then they can, use their expertise to sort of troubleshoot, and it saved many a days fishing, many a days. Yeah.
That's a testament to, again, the network in the marine industry too. Like, just everyone willing to help you out at the drop of a hat sometimes. It's a pretty special thing, I think, about this industry.
Yeah, it is, mate. And it's good. And you need to have that network. You can't do it all by yourself. It's, and it's good to have like a good support crew in your corner, because when you need them, they're the ones that are going to help you out. That's what I found. Pick up the phone at whatever hours, or, you know what I mean? They know if you're calling and they know you're away, that they're going to answer, because they know something's going down. And there's a few guys in the industry like that, and it's great to have them on your side.
Speaking of challenges, you think of a challenge that comes to mind that you've gone through and how it changed what you do?
Mate, on a boat, there's a challenge every day. There's, there's nothing ever goes smoothly. That's the thing. It doesn't. Every boat has its issues, and especially if you're using them hard, like it, and Murphy's Law will tell you that it'll go wrong, when you least want it to. But, I can't really tick any, I've had heaps, but having to MacGyver ourselves out of issues to get us home, or, there's always something. That's one thing that you got to, instead of stressing out and going, crawling up into a corner and throwing your hands up in the air, you just try and stay calm and just take a step back, have a breath. As long as you're not sinking, cruise safe, boat safe, you're going to, if you're all flustered and, with situations going wrong, you don't want, if these things are happening, you can't, sort of show it to the clients as well because, they're paying good money to be on board the boat. What I've learned is over time, and it's only from experience that you try and keep cool and try not to make a big deal about it. And then when if everything's safe and the boat's safe and everyone's safe, you can just get home and fix it at night. Fix as many nights I've spent all night down the engine room with fixing water leaks, fixing fuel leaks, fixing this, fixing that. Over the years, I've learned that boat, maintenance and stuff, like getting prepped for the seasons, everything. Like when the first boat I leased for the up in the season, wasn't well maintained, and it was just constantly fixing stuff. It was just all every day there was something else broken, which takes away the fun of it for you because you're up early, you're fixing something, you're limping, you're putting band-aids on everything. You don't have time to fix it properly. So I've learned that, and I'm lucky I'm on a newer boat, but things still go wrong on this thing, but now I know I've got redundancy built into the boat. I've got spares on spares. I know the thing back to front because I was involved when it was built. And there's nothing that can really stuff me. That's one thing I learned is just, and being able to build the boat was, and then also building the new boat, like redundancy is everything. That's one thing that I learned. Like, it's easy to, just having everything is easy to change over because it's not if it'll break, it's when it's going to break. It's as simple as that. That's about, yeah. You just want to make it as simple as possible.
So tell us about what boat that you are helping build right now, because that's pretty exciting too.
It is, yeah. We've got a 64 Viking, brand spanker in production, which is going to be through the short boys, which is going to be pretty cool. So I'm lucky enough to have two awesome owners that I've worked for now for both nearly, 10 years, almost, both of them. And and they trust me to maintain their boats, and I'm having my input on the build of this one over in the States, and it's going to be a pretty special machine. I can't wait for it to get here.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be sick.
Being with these two owners for 10 years, what do you think it is about like what you do as a captain or how you help them or how you drive the boats like that gives them that trust in you?
Well, I think it's just that trust with the owners it's got to be earned. That's that's as simple as that. Is that you meet these guys and it's pretty good. It's great, and we got a great relationship, and they're like family, both of them, and it's good. And you want to be. You need to prove it to them that you got their best interests in mind. They got an expensive toy, and you're going to look after it like it's your own. You got to care. That's the one thing that that I've always sort of done to maintain the relationship with the clients that I've worked for, and whether it be like a bit of freelance work or just do right by the owners. That's everything. That's what you want to do, and it doesn't just come along like that. And when you do, you got to get yourself in the right situation that that you meet these guys, and then if they want to give you a full-time job, then you're stoked.
Big advancements happening, I think, in our industry from my side of things, but also from your side of things. Are you on top of that new tech stuff that's coming out? And what are you most excited about that you've heard or new stuff in the game that you super stoked about?
Yeah, well, everyone's going, like, we have a searchlight sonar in this thing, and that's been an incredible advantage for my fishing, especially getting in Port Stephens, and even on the weekend. I caught the fish, marking the tuners on the searchlight, but everyone's running the Omni now, and they're having fantastic success. The new boat's going to have the Omni, so pretty excited to get my hands on that little puppy. That's going to be good.
It'd be like laser tag with the fish
Yeah,
and
it
just going
looks.
straight to them.
Oh, I'm very excited for it. You obviously still got to be in the zone, and I think you still got to be, know where you think the fish are going to be. But yeah, from all reports from all over the world, apparently they're a proper game changer. We have the ARG gyro in this boat, and I love it. It's really, really helped. Where you can anchor. You don't have to be so fussy about trying to find a nice anchorage. And especially the other week, we're up at Fraser Island, and the anchorages up there suck. It's, compared to the reef, it's you get a lot of side roll. It would have been stuff without that. You would have been rolling yourself out of bed. So having that, having that gyro is just so good. It changes the whole liveaboard aspect. Like you can deal with it when you're fishing, but there's nothing better than as firing up the grill on the back deck, cooking some glamour steaks, and sitting down to a table and having a 3-course meal. When it's
On a
blowing
scaffold,
25,
basically.
when it's blowing 25 knots off the back, you can delete all the cup holders. The boat doesn't rock. It's good. Solid as a rock.
It's so true.
Yeah.
And speaking of steaks, my God. So your program, number one, like the whole experience is fantastic. But like, tell us about how you guys do it, because like the food is fantastic. I love how you guys kind of shift responsibilities and what you do in the meats and stuff. Give us a rundown of what that experience looks like.
Yeah, well, the captain I used to work for, that he used to say, you can't control the fishing, but if you can control the food and the vibe on the boat, and make sure your boat's cleanly and you're having a good time, you'll have happy clients, which is true. So I don't muck around with my food order. You're burning so much money and fuel and tackle and the whole program. Food, I've got a really good butcher up in Cairns, Edgeville Butchery, and he's been supplying my meat now for I don't know over a long time now, and yeah, I make sure I get all the glam steaks and the lamb racks and the nice sausages, and you're obviously eating beautiful fresh fish, and you put that little extra effort in with the food and the beverages and all that sort of stuff. Really makes a difference for the client's experience. I think I couldn't cook toast when I first started working on a liveaboard trip, but it's just all stuff I learnt on the job. Yeah, the owner of the Ascari, he was a real big help when I was crewing on there with him, and he's a really good cook, and he sort of taught me and the other crew some little tips and stuff, and I'm still using some of his meals today on my charters, and that was bloody a long time ago now. That was like 7, 8 years ago, maybe 10 years ago.
Not burning toast anymore.
No, I can't cook a lot of things, but I cook a few things and I cook them really good. And I'd say to the boys, my crew, before they get on the boat, we got to work out a little signature dish, and that's going to be your little signature dish for the season. So everyone sort of shares the cooking, and I just make sure I get really nice produce, and we have no issues getting fresh fish, obviously, but get nice steaks and all that stuff, all the trimmings, and yeah, everyone enjoys a good feed. It's good.
I look forward to the meatballs every year.
Yeah, that's Riley's specialty. He's all over that program,
awesome.
Which is the Frank's hot sauce. You've added that to the program. I add that on my meatballs now every trip because of you. Good.
I'm gonna bring that sauce all over the world.
Yeah,
I'm obsessed with it for a good reason.
Yeah,
I'm glad
like a good hot
that's
sauce,
my contribution. Speaking of contributions to the boat, I was introduced to you and get to go fishing with you because I bring a few cameras along. I've been able to be on board with you a few times, a few different boats, and I think made some really cool content together as a game captain and booking charters and stuff. What role does content play for you, and how important is it, do you think?
Super important, mate. It's, that's the way of the future is. I don't think it's a 3-step process. I assume that, all my charters are word of mouth or like from social media, or they hear about me, they type my name into social media and boom, there's heaps of cool Marlin photos and heaps of good drone footage that you've done, and, some epic shots of the boat, and I try and post as much stuff as I can on the socials, and a lot of stuff that you've done is up there, and it's a mixture of everything, the website, and then they go to the website and then they fill out an inquiry form. I think it's, that's how it goes. It's like social media or that first, then they look on the website and send through an inquiry. I think it's everything. Like, and some of the boats are doing it really good, and I would and your stuff's incredible. You need to be in it, especially for the international market. A lot of the I've got a lot of American guys coming this year. I've got a lot of Aussies as well. And majority of the time, I'm usually Australian. But this year, I've got quite a few Americans coming over. And I know for a fact a lot of that will be from the social media side of things or them seeing me on YouTube or something. And, I think it's just important to be on their radar and to have good quality footage. Because a lot of the time, like I'm pretty untech savvy, as you would say. Like I'll forget to turn the GoPro on, or it'll have water on it or something. And a lot of the times too is that I've got so much good footage, so much of from the last 17 years working up on the reef and from working in different places all over the world, but it just sits on a hard drive, and a lot of the hard drives now plug them in, they don't work. Like it's so good to just get it out there, then it's there forever. People can look at it and I've had heaps of people say that they've seen, the videos that we've done with short marine and stuff, like say, oh, how cool is that? Like they sort of know what you're doing before you even told them about it. And I think it's a super, super important way to get your name out there and to share your experiences with the world. And someone might see it and just say, oh, I want to do that. That's what I want to do. And then, or it might be old mate who has like 100-footer over in America and he goes, right, that's what I want to do. I want to get a big Marlin like that. So yeah, I think it's very important.
The one thing that it has in common with those word of mouth referrals is it's helping build trust in you that number one, you provide a great experience. Number two, you can catch some big fish. And number three, like you look like and you sound like a good guy that you'd want to go and be cool with spending a week on the water together, right? I think the difference too between maybe some of the more produced stuff that, I'll do versus like the GoPro stuff that is great to do all the time and have up there. The one thing that I think makes a big difference is being out there for the time and showcasing the whole experience. It's about that feeling too that you get when you watch like an actual film about it versus just a quick recap of the highlights of fish jumping on the trip or something like that.
100%. No, like, and then throwing, your latest video you did from last season, you're showing us catching big trout on stick baits and showing a bit of the food and, drone footage of the beautiful reef. And that's 5 days compacted into such a short little time. And the video would go for 3 hours if you were able to put all your footage in there, I'm sure. But, it just gives everyone a taste of, not just a big fish jumping behind the boat or, or a marlin eating a bait or something. It's everything. It's the program. You're showing the whole program, which is, why people book these liverboard trips in the first place is for the experience, really. Like the catching the massive fish is a big bonus, like massive bonus, and that is the goal. But it's also, I've had some great trips where, you haven't caught many marlin at all. Like, but people have had the time of their life. Like maybe the fishing's been slow, so we've done a lot of other stuff like jigging, popping, like spearing, and the clients have come away super, super, super stoked. Like that's what I like about your videos, man. Is that you show the whole package, and not only the fishing ones is the ones we've done. Taking that boat to the Bahamas and all that. It's just that, they're pretty special. They're good. People love seeing that. It's the full program. It's good.
And I think it injects a bit of your personality in there too, which is good. For like a keen fisherman that's looking to be a captain someday, you'd have some great advice, right? Because it's a long game. Like you said, there's no shortcuts. It's a bit of a journey. What would you give advice-wise to someone starting out?
Just, do your time on the deck, just whether it be up in Cairns or, I don't know, overseas somewhere, or you just need to get that time, get your sea time up properly. Don't try and shortcut it, get your sea time up, get your Master 5, all your tickets, but, you're not going to be as respected or as experienced if you try and fast track the whole process, like get your tickets, even if you're not driving a commercial boat, get your tickets are everything because you learn so much invaluable lessons in those Master 5 classes and MED classes and stuff that some of it's boring, but some of it actually, you never use again, but some of it you actually do. And, I really enjoyed doing my during my courses and stuff, and I did my tickets, and then I had them when I was crewing. I had my Master 5 and MED 1, both I've had for a long time, and I had them whilst I was still crewing. I could have gone and skipped it, but I wasn't ready yet. I wanted to make sure that I was ready before I step behind the wheel. Like, I did plenty of driving for private boats and sort of learned about that, but you got a lot of responsibility, mate. You step behind someone multi-million dollar vessel. There's a lot can go wrong. That's my. But for young fellas, just say yes, just go. If someone gives you an opportunity to maybe step into that world of, and you don't have to be straight out of school. You can, you could do it later in life if you wanted. Go get some life experience and then jump on a boat. And if fishing's your passion and that's all you can think about, like I do, then you can make a good career out of it.
Your knowledge of the reef is next level. And I would imagine it's because of all of those years you spent up there, and your passion for fishing. One of the things you were telling me last trip that we were on when I was chatting to you up on the bridge was how, you've marked all the holes in the bommies where we were fishing on all the ribbon reefs. And I guess the craziest things I didn't think about is how tuned in you are to when we are hooked up, like where the hook is, where the line is, and what you're doing as far as positioning the boat and stuff, to kind of get Marlin to jump. Tell me a little bit about what's going on in your head and what you're looking for when we are hooked up.
Yeah, that's just from experience. And when you start driving, you're driving these bigger boats and you're driving them in rough weather, and and you've also got the sharks to compete with up on the reef. So you want to catch those fish as quick as you can, and get as many jumps out of it as you can. That's the whole, that's the cool part. That's what gets your blood pumping. So, especially with the big fish, like the big ones, you're not going to drag them back to the boat. 20 kilos of drag or whatever. Like, you're just catching them with a reaction. So, you learn how to position the boat, and especially on prolonged flights, there'll be certain maneuvers or angles that you have to, that you can make that'll make that fish react. And, some every now and then it'll pop up to the surface, and if you can get to it quick enough, you can catch that fish, grab the leader, and then the leader is another action. The boy's pulling on it hard and getting jumps, and then you can really keep on it with the boat. That's the beauty of having a sick boat that's really good at backing up around fish in rough weather. And, just knowing all those little tips and tricks, and you learn them from crewing. Like, I work for some captains that were unreal at driving on fish, and you pick up those little techniques, and then you sort of use it. You put them to use. You're like, oh, there you go, that works pretty good. Or, there's just all little things, but you just learn them along the way, and then they come in handy when you're back down in Sydney fishing. And the last few years, I've sort of been driving a couple of high-powered outboard boats on fish, and that's a whole other kettle of fish as well. And, when you learn little tricks of how to do that, you drive them a lot differently to you would like a stern drive on, a shaft drive boat. But yeah, there's all little sort of maneuvers and stuff you can do, and it's just stuff you pick up over time, which is cool. And they work. There's there's a little playbook you can sort of delve into, because you don't want, especially up in Cairns, to prolong that flight, because then the sharks eat it, and that's the last thing that anyone wants. Like, we hate things, and we want the big giant marlin to live to fight another day.
Catch them on the next trip.
Yeah, when they're about 100 kilos bigger, it's good. And then maybe one day they won't be lucky enough to swim away. It'll be good.
Be weighing that one.
Yeah, come for a free boat ride.
When you get these people that are like repeat customers, what do they tell you? Like, why do they keep coming back?
Yeah, just the whole experience. A lot of them book before they even get back on the boat, or a lot of them I just know they're coming, and then I'll just send them a text. Some people I don't really speak to even throughout the whole year. That's the sort of things that people don't see too, is that there's a lot of juggling to try and line up dates, and these people are busy, and they might book a year in advance and then come to like this time of year, then you'll have to do a bit of shuffling because they're busy people, and they've got sort of jobs, and it's hard to book a year in advance. So things come up, so you're constantly changing dates and shuffling things around, and you're trying to keep everyone happy. And that's sort of the behind the scenes stuff that people don't really see. International guests are a bit different because they have to book their flights in advance, but there's always something. A lot of the time it's, things that these people can't control. So you just want to keep everyone happy and, you're asking this guy whether he can swap to this date or can he swap to this date, and no, he can't, or can we just do it a day early, or, it just, it's a game of musical chairs this time of year. But they always, they come, unless there's something really serious that's making them not be able to come, like a sickness or something like that. They'll always, and they'll be there and they'll have the time of their lives. That's the beauty of it. As I was saying, some people there, they're not fishermen. I've got a few couples that come, like, husband and wife, and they bring a new friend. I've got one in particular couple that's come with me since the very start, and they don't really fish back any other time of the year, but they just really love the full program. They love the snorkeling. We don't put the marlin baits out till 1 or 2 o'clock, and they're really not too serious about the whole thing. But we always get piled on. We seem to have like the best fishing ever when they're on board. So usually we're out there at 10:30 getting pumped till like 6:30 at night, and then you roll out first pass, boom. 800 pound, like, boom, 900 pound, like, yeah. And they don't care. They're happy to drink champagne behind the reef until 2 o'clock, and have a really nice lunch. And for those sort of guests, and because you build a rapport with these guys, you know what they like. So, you don't get out there at 10:30 because they're not going to like that. So, I just tell the boys, just chill. We're going to have a nice lunch today. We're going to have a swim. They might want to sleep in. They're not early risers. Let's, you don't get to sleep in. Use that time to catch up on your maintenance. And when I was a crew, I used to hate it. Because I just want to get out there fishing, and I understand that that's probably what my crew think too. But now I'm, a little bit older and wiser. I'm like, let's just take this time to catch up on a bit of maintenance. Like, while they're asleep, you can get down, do an oil change on your Jenny, or, do some deep cleaning or something, because, we work back to back every single day for the season. So that whole gun-ho attitude is sort of, I've learned to use more time a bit more wisely, because I know that next trip, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be anchor's going to be up at 7, and we're going to fish till 6 o'clock, 6:30 that night. So, it used to piss me off doing that chilled morning, but now I can, I've learned to live with it, and that's what they want. They're paying the money, and that's what you got. That's what you do. You're going to turn it on for them.
That's the experience within the experience, right? And that's part of, I think, why you're great at what you do, is because you get that, right? And that's what keeps people coming back, is they feel like, you're looking out for them and you're doing it their way, and making sure they have a good time.
Every charge is different. And having them return, you can just do it better every year. That's what I like. You're just like, right, okay. Sometimes on their first trip, you might not figure it out to the second or third day to what they really like, and then and then you can sort of customize the charter to suit the guests. Some guys might want to, they might want to be fishing at 6:30 and till 6:30 at night. Like, we do that. We'll do whatever. I like to do that. That's fine. But it does take your toll. You did it for 90 days straight. You know about it.
That's the thing. Like, you guys have just such a crazy season, and it is back to back to back. Like, tell me, like, when you get in, so say you drop us off at the wharf in Cooktown at whatever time we get back in, how many days generally is in between when the next guest is there, and what are you guys doing when you're back at port?
I'll schedule like a day between trips every, say, 25 days, just for doing oil changes and stuff like that. But apart from that, we're back to back. So, as I said, we'll drop the guests off finish fishing at 4:30 on the last day, roundabout, unless we're fighting something big, or the fish are really on, and might sneak it out a little bit later. But get in at 6:37, drop the guests off, wash the boat, soapy wash, top to bottom. Chamois the boat off. That usually takes about an hour and a half. Then we'll go up and meet the guests for dinner. That's sort of part of the program. They'll be staying in the resort up at the Sovereign usually, and we'll go up and have dinner with them there or somewhere, Old Club or something like that, and then come back down to the boat. Sometimes that night my groceries will get delivered, because I call and we'll take the laundry up to the laundry lady to get done. So the boys have already stripped all the beds and done a spray and wipe of the cabin on the way in. We will take the laundry up to get done, go to sleep. The early you'd hope, but sometimes all your mates are in town, you're rafted up with them, so you have a couple of sneaky drinks on the back deck before you crash out. Then you get up and you All your food gets delivered down if it wasn't delivered the night before. Get all our meat out of the freezer, put some fuel on, and then the guests arrive at about 7:30, and we throw the ropes and we're back out there. And we do that for about 90 days. Yeah, it's pretty full on and taxing, and that's not including getting the boat up and down, the coast, and then afterwards I take the boat back down south. So, it's a big stint. And all the boys are doing it up there. And when you crew, you become accustomed to that and it just becomes second nature. You're just a robot by the end of the season, and that's the beauty of it. And if you're doing what you love, then you don't get the shits with it, or you get tired, your body's tired, but you just want to keep fishing. You put bit all the way through to February, you stay up there the whole time, but you've only got a X amount of time to catch these big marlins. So that's what you got to do. You don't want to have a day in town. And then sometimes you wish you had a day off, and then you have a day off and your mate catches a big one. You're like, why do we have a day off? It's right there. That's what happens. Yeah.
Should have said yes.
Yeah. Oh, well, yeah. I'm a big boat like this to deploy a lot of the smaller boats, they can do their whole season back to back, and they can just do an oil change at night, and I probably could too. But I just like to have a day here and there in between trips to give the boat a proper clean and fix whatever we put band-aids on whilst out there, and give my mains I'd service my jennies while we're at sea, but the mains take a little bit longer. It takes about half a day for us to do that. Yeah. But yeah, that's the heavy tackle program. It's good.
One of the other things that is amazing and super unique, I think, about the heavy tackle program up there is Raft-Ups. It's probably not something everybody experiences, but I mean, when we were up there, I think we've done one each trip that we've been there. Tell us a bit about, I guess, how you do it and why you do it and what's great about it. Last year, obviously, we had it Raft Up for Halloween, which was amazing.
That was good. Yeah, it was good that night. Not so good the next morning for my headache. But it was, but they're always fun. You know what I mean? Before my time up on the reef, they used to raft up every night. That was like standard procedure. It just it's a great chance to catch up with your mates, and if the weather allows, like when it's really windy and it's big tides, it's hard to tie up next to each other unless you're in behind Lizard Island or something. But if there's not too much wind and it's the neeps, it's fun that you raft up next to each other. Someone puts their pick down, lets out an extra couple of meters of chain, and then you fold a rigger up, and then they come in alongside you and tie up, and you have dinner like you normally would, and then it's on after that. Like, jump on the boat, a few tunes, a couple of stories, and it's always good fun. And it was great. Last year was good because we got to, Ryan, who we rafted up with, who Shorty had sold the boat to. He's a good mate of mine, and Shorty had sold the boat. We had you on board, and it was just like it was a perfect storm, you could say. It was good. Yeah, and it was Halloween, and
Cat
we
5,
had Doily, and it was just, it was on. It was good fun, though. It's always good fun.
I think it is, and it's such a unique thing because you're out in the middle of the Great Barrier Reef,
you
get to have a party with all the people. Like, there's always something to celebrate. The first raft up we did was after we got the grander, and then
that was right with the Halloween. So. Yeah, and that was great. Like, it's, even if you're not celebrating, it's just just celebrating being on the reef. There's always something to celebrate. Celebrate catching a scaly. I don't know. Just catch up with your mates and have a raft up and. Yeah, just turn the music up and have a good time. It's good, and and you're still in bed early, and you wake up and you go fishing. It's good.
The dream.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah, it's good.
But Klein, I got some fun rapid fire questions for you. Are you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
We get first thing that comes to mind. All right. Favorite spot to fish on the reef?
Number 10.
Favorite kind of fishing to do overall?
It'd have to be marlin fishing. Yeah, that's my favorite.
Pet peeve on the boat from a client, besides someone bringing too much camera gear on?
Yeah, camera gear, I hate that. No, I don't know. Mate, slamming a hatches, that sends shivers down my spine. The slamming of the hatch, yes.
Best boat name you've ever seen?
That's a good
funniest.
One. Funniest, I don't know. I've got a mate in post name's Far Call. I thought that was pretty good. That's a really good name.
It only works with an Australian accent.
Yeah. I thought that was good.
One must-have piece of fishing gear. Your
A
one
fishing rod.
fave.
Yeah, probably need one of them.
Yeah, fair
Or a
enough.
hook.
What are the stupid questions? Stupid answers. Yeah. Dream fishing destination in the world.
Cairns, yeah, that's it.
Best piece of fishing advice you've ever received.
Work hard.
Worst thing you've ever caught.
I don't know, toadfish. I don't know, bumperfish maybe. The reef.
Uh,
Yeah, the bottom. Terra firma.
What's your dream boat?
Probably on it, yeah.
If you could switch lives with anyone for a day, who would you choose?
I don't know, Ron Jeremy or something like that. No, just joking. Just joking. No, I don't know. No, I love my life. Yeah, I don't think I'll need a switch.
Do you have a fish that still haunts you that got away?
Yeah, one that we gaffed on a scary when I was crewing, and yeah, got away. That one will haunt me for the rest of my life.
Is that the one that straightened out the gaps?
Yeah, opened up 2 10-inch flies and ripped the other 2 out. Kills me, but it was still there. It was an epic fish.
Your least glamorous part of being a captain?
Yeah, a lot of the behind the scenes stuff, engine work, yeah, dirty bilge, block toilets, yeah, you name it. It's not all glitz and glamour. Yeah.
What did people think you do? Like misconception?
Yeah, do a lot of cruising around, getting a suntan with my shirt off. Yeah, just fishing constantly, catching just every 2 seconds, catching a fish. Yeah. Well, everyone's sort of accustomed. They all know now. I think that's what they assumed I did. Yeah, when I first started.
Now they get it.
Yeah, they know. Yeah.
All right. And last one, your favorite spread to run on the reef?
Without a doubt, it'd be on the left. It'd be a big scaly, big skipping scaly, slapping about out there. And then on the right, we'd have a scad, nice fresh greenback. Bigger the better. And then out on the centre, it'd be a queenie or a tuna. I like the little tunas. Maybe a little tuna.
The recipe.
Yeah.
You heard it from the man himself.
Yeah, that's it.
That's awesome.
Hang on.
Last thing, what's next for Pursuit of Giants?
Yeah, the season's coming up. We got a big season. We start fishing on the 10th of September and we finish up around the 1st of December. And then I'll start taking the boat north in January, use it up at Port Douglas for a week, and then, yeah, and take it back down to Cairns and get ready for our stint of charters. And then after that, gonna go to the States and QC the new Viking, which is gonna be epic. I'm very excited about that, and hopefully get a trip in over there, and then put her on a ship and bring it back for the tail end of the tournament seasons next year. Yeah, it's all happening. It's good. It's been a bit to it. The new boats and stuff. There's a lot of behind the scenes stuff like, speccing it all out and to and froing and things with the time difference in the States, can throw its challenges, but yeah, it's going to be incredible. It'll be something to behold. So I'm excited for that, mate. It's going to be cool. New chapter.
Love it.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm excited to see that one up on the reef too. And
yeah,
with you ripping that, 40-something knots.
You'll get there quick, that's for sure.
Yeah. Awesome. Kleiny, you're a legend. Thank you for doing this, buddy, and sharing your wisdom. Really looking forward to another couple trips with you this year.
Yeah, you do. You got 2 this year, mate, so bring it on. Looking forward to your cool drone footage and all the rest of the stuff you do, mate. It's awesome. And yeah, I think it's invaluable to have that sort of, for everything, for memories. And, it's pretty cool this year that you're going up with a guest. And, and how cool is that having for them to have that option, to have that sort of, those memories that will last a lifetime now, they'll be in full HD and you'll do a real cool edit, and I'm sure it'll be very cool.
Yeah. Oh, it's a special thing.
No, it's really in the scheme of things, mate. Like, getting someone like yourself to do all that, like it's invaluable. And, and hopefully, you got your niche, mate, and you're bloody good at it. And I love the work you do, mate. It's good.
Thank you. Well, if anyone out there is looking for the best fishing experience that I've ever heard of, this is your man. Yeah, thank you again, buddy. And if you enjoyed this podcast and you want to hear more legends like Kleiny, subscribe and share it with them. And if you've got a story or know somebody in the marine industry who should be on the podcast, send them my way. Love to share stories from this industry. It's an awesome one, and catch you on the next one.